just want to talk about how we all can how we work together at the Purley Cross Centre, working with CAP as well, Christians Against Poverty, and obviously the Food Hub, which is why I'm here, where we give advice to people that come into the centre, and we try and help them connect to various services that they need. And obviously we try and empower them so that they know exactly what they need to do and the routes that they can take, because we don't like the idea of them going around in circles from one service to another. We do digital training, so we do one-to-one on any device, but we also do a group training, which we have about 18 to 20 people in a group class learning how to use their mobile phones. And that's quite a challenge at times because there are so many different types of phones as well, but nevertheless, they seem to enjoy it, so that's good. We work with CALAT and we help them to provide ESOL classes, because there are lots of people in the community now that don't have English as their first language. And we partner with a lot of other external agencies to meet certain needs that clients have. We also run legal clinics, so basically we work with 2 solicitors and who will work in various disciplines, and what we do is when a client calls, we'll do a triage with them and we'll find out exactly what their needs are, because they may not know that their needs are legal, so we try and help them along the way, and they can get the help that they need. It's a 15-minute free appointment, so that they take advantage of that. We encourage them to take advantage of that because it means that they may get all the help that they need anyway in that 15 minutes. And of course, Christians Against Poverty, of which I'm the Debt Centre Manager for that as well, and we cover Croydon South. So that goes all the way out to Coulston, Sanderstead, Riddlesdown, all the areas around Croydon South. So when people are needing or struggling with their debt, then if they're in that particular area, then they'll be sent to me. And these are some of the partners people that we work with. Some of them you know, some of them you may not know. Acts 435, that is an organisation that you can donate money to help people in need. So we will put a request to Acts 435 and people will be donating. It's a Christian organisation based on Acts 435. And when that money has arrived for that particular need, then they will contact us, we will contact the client, and that money will then be passed on to them for the particular thing that they need. And that is a wonderful service because there are so many people now that are really struggling. We also have the DWP that come to us on a Tuesday, and they will give advice to the clients about their benefits and what they're entitled to and how they can take advantage of the service that they need, or whether they need a form filling, but they can't fill it in, so we'll do that, but they can actually get advice about what they need to put into their forms and the paperwork and the evidence that they'll need in order to apply for, whether it's a PIP or whether it's a disability living allowance or something like that. Christians Against Poverty, so we offer free debt help with Christians Against Poverty, and basically we visit a client basically 3 times. The first meeting will be just to talk about what the procedures are. The second meeting will be to collect all their paperwork, all the information that they need to bring along, and the third meeting will be to identify their needs, their budget needs, and give them some options, because if they have the options that they need, it could be that they have to pay it off over a period of 5 years. It could be that debt gets cleared straight away. It just depends on their financial circumstances, how much debt they are in, and whether we feel it's viable that we can actually help them. But the majority of them do get help, so that is not a problem. It's just sometimes about working with the client and the client working with you, because sometimes things take a long time, the process can be quite slow. So we say 2,436 people became debt-free. Now, many of those are still, well, these guys have actually paid off their debts, but there are still lots of clients still going through the process of paying off so much a month over a period of so many years. Up to 5 years, because we don't think that people will be able to sustain it beyond 5 years. Yes, we do use a benefits calculator. That way we can help people know what they can apply for and how they can get some extra money. Sometimes they don't know all of the various benefits that they can apply for if they need to. And many of them are working, but their incomes are very low, and therefore they just can't sustain decent living. And we also offer holistic support. So basically we will ask them to try and do a money management course if we feel that they're not able to manage their finances very well, so that they can budget or learn how to budget. We also will help them financially if they need extra money for fuel or food. We'll get them a voucher, but we won't give that voucher every time they ask. Once a quarter, we will offer them a voucher to be able to sustain, and even for children's school uniform, we will be able to help them purchase school uniform as well. So, we do thank you very much. We're happy to work alongside you. Sorry that that's... but yes, so people contact us by phone. Sometimes they may go to the food hub, but they do need a referral. So we will then refer that client back to the food hub in order for them to be able to get the food that they need. And they either have 4 deliveries, or they'll just have a one-off delivery, just depending on their needs and their circumstances. So for us, the food hub is very crucial because we have seen more people coming through in this last couple of years requesting food, and it's quite sad sometimes when you're seeing that some people want it time and time again, and we sometimes look at that and think, well, you know, they need to move on and try and get their help somewhere else, but often it's just their own circumstances. I have a client that has been moved 4 times because she's in temporary housing. She's one of my CAP clients, and honestly it's really hard for her. She has 3 children. She's been moved out of the area once to Rains Park. She came from Peckham to Kenley, then went to Rains Park, and is now back in Croydon, but she hasn't now been asked to move again. Temporary housing, that's how it works. So it's really hard for her, and her kids, well, her eldest daughter is 16, and therefore she's studying for her GCSEs, and she doesn't want that disruption in her life either. So we have really petitioned for her and are hoping that the council will take note of that. She's looking for permanent housing, and she can't afford it because she's a care worker, so her wages are very low, and therefore she's always going to be struggling, and every so often she'll call us and ask if we could help her financially. So while she's working with us, she's a CAP client, while she's working with CAP, we can help her. But then the Purley Cross Centre kicks in, or Acts 435 will kick in if that continues. But because it's very difficult, how do you increase your income if you're in that situation? It's very hard, so that's why we rely on other services as well to be able to help them. So yes, I'm sure many of you have seen experiences the same. Since the job centre stopped referring clients, now that's down to the ticket partners. So, and we've seen that increase considerably. And we do try and make connections with the client. So once we've met them once, quite often they come back and they want to talk to us. They just need someone to talk to and just have a shoulder to cry on sometimes. That's how it works. And it's for us, it's good to be able to make that connection with them because they can trust us and they feel that they can trust us, so they come back time and time again and thank us as well. For the clients that have had their forms filled and they've actually been awarded a grant, they are very, very happy So that's the immediate need that we try and meet because we know it's an emergency. If after the 4 visits we know that they've had 4 deliveries, should I say, then we will refer them to Old Lodge Lane to actually start using that service. And quite a lot of the time they do start using that service, so that's quite important. So for us, the challenge is that it has put more of a, I won't say a burden, but it has stretched us because it's not just about the numbers, it's also about the care for the clients as well. And we find that we're sitting with clients filling in forms for a long period of time. And form filling does take time, and you've probably seen the forms. And you know they're pages and pages long, but it does give us a much better understanding of how we can help that client. Because once we start talking to them, what we find is that they actually have other issues that also need to be addressed, and that way we can actually point them in the right direction. And yes, we do want to give them a real sense of hope, because we've had a few clients that have said to us, I don't see the point anymore. You know, I'm never going to get out of this situation, I might as well end it. And we see that with clients from CAP, we see it with clients from the food hub. When you actually start talking to them, you realise how difficult some of their situations are. There are some that just want to enjoy the fact that they're getting benefits and they don't want to work, so you can tell the difference between their situation. They're of an age now where they feel, well, nobody's going to take me on, so I might as well enjoy just taking what I can get. But the majority of them aren't like that. They do want to work, or they do want to be able to not have to rely on food hubs. It's a difficult problem, but it is a problem. We open 2 days in the week, but we're still at the end of the phone on the Mondays and Thursdays. But Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can actually come and walk in and see us. And as I've already explained some of this, that we have a triage, we listen, then we either refer them to one of the agencies or to CAP, and then we have that joined up support with all the different agencies in the community. And the food hub is often one of those that we will always refer people to.